In a barren desert over 4,000 years old, archaeologists uncovered something strange, a perfectly preserved body, wearing a necklace, but it wasn't made of stone or bone. It was made of food, fermented dairy strung carefully around the neck of a Bronze Age nomad. This wasn't decoration, and it wasn't for survival. It was something else entirely. Genetic testing would later reveal this was one of the oldest known examples of a living biological system used by humans, a system capable of transforming milk into something far more powerful, something alive. Today, it's known as kefir, often called the champagne of dairy. And yet, despite its history, its power, and its ability to completely reshape the gut microbiome, most people have never experienced the real thing. To understand why, you have to go back to where it began, high in the Caucasus Mountains, a harsh, unforgiving environment where survival depended on what you could carry and what you could preserve. Nomadic tribes stored fresh milk in leather bags. Day after day, they added new milk to the old. And over time, something unexpected happened. A living colony formed. Not just bacteria, but bacteria and yeast working together, a self-sustaining ecosystem. It looked like small clusters of soft, rubbery grains, almost like cauliflower. But these weren't plants. They were alive in a different way, and they could be passed down, shared, protected. For generations, these grains were treated as something sacred. Stories claimed they were gifts, that they carried power, and that if they were given away carelessly, that power would disappear. Whether that was true or not didn't matter because the result was the same. For centuries, they were hidden, guarded, kept out of reach from the outside world until eventually that changed. By the early 1900s, rumors of this fermented drink began spreading beyond the mountains. Stories of improved digestion, of recovery from illness, of something that seemed to restore balance in the body. Medical communities became interested. But there was a problem. They couldn't get the grains. And without the grains, you couldn't make it. Because this wasn't something you could recreate from a formula. It had to be alive. At the same time, something else was happening. Modern food systems were evolving, and they had a different priority: control, consistency, scalability. Yogurt fit perfectly into that system. It could be made from a controlled culture, packaged easily, shipped anywhere. But kefir didn't cooperate because kefir doesn't sit still. The grains grow, multiply, change. They produce gas, they ferment continuously. In a factory, they clog equipment, they expand beyond control, they don't follow rules, and that made them incompatible with industrial production. So instead of adapting to the process replaced them. What you find in stores today is often not the original. It's a simplified version, made from controlled cultures designed to taste similar, but missing the complexity, missing the diversity, missing the living system that made it powerful in the first place. Because the real thing can't be standardized, but like many things that were pushed aside, it didn't disappear. It moved into smaller spaces, into kitchens, into hands. People began making it again, not because it was easy, but because it worked. Because sometimes the most powerful systems are the ones we don't fully control. This wasn't just food, it was a living process, a relationship, something passed down for thousands of years and then replaced, not because it failed, but because it didn't fit. And now, it's still here, waiting